All right, the Lenovo Legion Go is spec'd out with a 2560 by 1600 of 144 Hz 8.8 Quad HD IPS display, 49 watt battery, 2 USB Type-C ports, used for charging and display, AMD Ryzen Z1 Extreme chip with ARMD Retina graphics, 16 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM, PCIe 4.0 NVMe SSD slot, and the price is only about $700. So without further ado, let's go. All right, DJ back in the building yet again, the Lenovo Legion Go. My thoughts and opinions after only a couple of weeks of use. So take this with a grain of salt if you want to. That's up to you. All right, let's just get started with the screen. 8.8 inches, 144 hertz, man. One of the biggest so far. I know there's one coming out called the TJD T101. I know that was going to be 10.1 inches. It looks ridiculous, but I know that's coming out. The screen is bright. You got 144 hertz. You can downscale that to 60 hertz if you want to try to save a little battery along the way. It already has detachable controllers, so you can use this in tabletop mode. Put it on the table, ride out. Put your hands in your pockets and just play. All right, it has what I'm calling keyboard and mouse mode. It'll turn your controllers with the added adapter piece to a mouse. That's kind of cool. That's something no other handheld game that I own has had. Yes, you can add the keyboard and mouse to the other one, but to come integrated like this is kind of cool. You just turn that into a mouse and then use that and ride out. But more on this later. More on this, the keyboard and mouse mode later. I'm just calling it keyboard and mouse mode. I don't know what they actually call it, but that's what I'm calling it. So when I say that, that's what I mean. Buttons on the controllers are nice and clicky. I haven't had any problem with it. Syncing, desyncing, not working properly, charging, none of that. I haven't had any problems with any of that. So they work and they work well. Granted, only had it for a couple of weeks, so the train can derail after this video. But as of now, the controllers work great. They got a nice feel. They got batteries in them, so you can play with them detached. All right, let's talk about the weight. It's nice and lightweight. To me, I use a lot of handheld devices that has been heavier than this, and it's nice. Maybe I'm just used to it, but I don't get hand fatigue, none of that. It's nice and light. I can play on it as long as the battery lets me, you know? All right, next, it feels nice. It feels good in the hands. It's comfortable. It comes with a 3.5 millimeter headphone jacket. It might be a pro to a lot of people out there that has headphones that they want to plug in. You got some wired headphones that you want to listen to. Other than that, you can Bluetooth your own headphones to it, your own keyboard, your own mouse to it. You can Bluetooth all that. It has its own kickstand. If you guys been watching me for a minute, you know how I am. I believe every handheld should come with its own kickstand. It's just dumb that it does. Because if you're sitting here, you're playing an expensive game thing like this that needs air and oxygen to flow through it, it's gonna need to stand up so it can get all of it. All right, next you got these extra buttons, mostly for keyboard and mouse mode, but you got them up here. You got your scrolling wheel. You got everything else, but when you're holding it, you do feel them, but it's not bad. They're not jetting out too much where it disrupts anything. You got expandable storage on this, an SSD card reader, and then you can pop this thing open and pop in a new drive and get a few more terabytes out of this thing. It came with its very own case, no extra charge. I mean, maybe, but they don't tell you that. It comes with its own case. For this And that. Some of them you have to buy it separately. And if you don't add it to the cart, you'll forget. That's basically all the pros I got for this thing. This thing is a beast, man. The graphics are great. You guys already seen my gameplay. If you haven't, it's on the channel. The little bit of negatives that I got for this thing. The speakers on it, not that good, man. It's the speakers, they could be better. They're all right. They work. They're speakers. They could just be louder, because right now I'm in a quiet room. You don't hear nothing. They work great. But as soon as you get a little bit of noise, it's drowning this thing out completely. Some games are louder than the others, but still, the speakers can be better. Secondly, battery life. I wish the battery life on this thing was a little bit more, but I can't fault them for that, because it's probably me. Because I only play AAA titles, man. So that's going to drain this thing it's going to drain this thing. AAA titles, max performance, and all that. Yes, it's going to drain it a lot. But I just wish they had a bigger battery life. I mean, who's going to get an expensive game like this and not play AAA titles on? That's all I'm saying. All right, and up next, the controllers. The controllers are kind of a pain to put on, take on and off. Sometimes you got to pull it a little hard to get them off that, and then to get them on, you got to push it up a little hard. It's to me, it's a. I just accidentally turned it on. But to push those on and off takes a little bit of force, which I don't think is necessary on an $800 device. Another one is there's no big USB port, original USB port. So I can just automatically plug my controllers in to delay latency. I know USB-C, you can still do it with that, but some controllers work better with the other accessory thing. I know we probably can get a dock or something to put it on so we can get that, but then doesn't that take away the portability? But I'm just saying. I just wish it had a regular USB port. I guess I'm just used to it. All right, the next thing. I wish the charger that came with it was just a little bit more powerful. Because while I am playing my AAA titles and while it does charge, it just does it very slowly. So I just wish the charger was more powerful. Yes, you can remedy that by buying a more powerful charger, but I guess it works, so I guess I can't complain about it too much. I just wish it had a little bit more power to it. All right, next is the screen glare. It's shiny. It's a gloss panel or whatnot. But it's picking up everything. If you're playing it outside, it's going to be a little tough. So find your little tree and some little shade and play it in. Glare magnet, that's all I'm saying. All right, it seems like I'm just picking on this thing now. And maybe a little bit, but every game I played, you had to fiddle with it to get the settings perfectly. This is not plug and play. You're not just going to download a game and play it right on immediately. You got to mess with the settings on every game. Other than that, I really don't got any terrible cons with it. Just me nitpicking to find some stuff for you guys. But this thing is fairly new. It's going to get frequent updates. So half of this stuff is just going to go away. Well, besides taking on and off the controllers, I think that's here to stay. Maybe it's still because it's brand new. Still new. I gotta work it a little bit, Next, I wish it came with like a controller adapter piece, because like when you're playing ranked matches and fighting games and stuff on tabletop mode and you're using it like this, these controllers sometimes have the ability to shift, and especially if you're doing ranked matches, you want to try to get it dialed in right. You're not trying to lose. But sometimes they get in and shift. I just wish they had a connector piece so you can have a little bit more control over the movement and stuff when you're playing. Nitpick. Get me wrong, but if you play fighting games, you know what I'm talking about. That's all I gotta say about that. All right, that's the end of all the pros and cons that I got. I had to get that out the way. Next up, let's talk about keyboard and mouse mode. We got on Call of Duty Black Ops 4, of course, but it's not about that. It's about these things. Yep, you hold it like that. This is your mouse. This is your regular. But all of these buttons are something. This is not a regular controller now. It's a keyboard. And this is a mouse. This is like shoot, aim. This is shoot. You know what? You figure all that when you go. But I said all of that to say this. This is start. Said all I have to say this. It's a learning curve for sure. How you hold it. It's a lot of buttons. It's weird. How does that feel?
Weird.
Yeah, it's a learning curve. You're gonna have to use this a lot in order to get it down. I'm talking about you gotta use the key bond and everything. So granted, I don't play like this a lot just because I don't like the feel of it. I'd rather use the keyboard and mouse. But it's way cool to have. Secondly, it takes away some of the portability of it because you do need a lot of space to play it. How are you doing?
How do I aim?
Huh?
How do I aim?
This top one. Oh, the bottom one then. There's a bottom one down here. See?
Oh.
See, because there's like M1 up here and then there's 2 more buttons down there. But he's doing okay, but he's on round 1. But using it is weird. It's not a typical controller over here. You crouch, you dive, you jump. You crouch, you dive, you jump with this hand over here in the back buttons. It's kind of weird.
As far as I can tell, the
Can you slide?
crowd appears to
Yeah, you can slide. You just gotta find the button. Huh? See? All right. What do you think?
It's cool if you get like to know it.
Yeah. So it's gonna take some getting used to. So you've been playing it for 5 minutes. Are you getting better at it?
Yeah, I know what it does now. Oh, what?
I see you went down.
Yeah, that took way too long.
All right, that is mouse and keyboard mode. More to the story, mouse and keyboard mode is very cool. You gotta mess with it to get your buttons down right. Key map, key bind, do your thing. And tailor it to you. But it takes some getting used to if you're not used to it. All right, I guess while we're doing this, let's talk a little bit about Legion Space. All right, let's run down a little bit about Legion Space. Legion Space is basically SteamOS. Everything all in one place. Your game, your cloud game, your Android games, your settings, your game store, and your game library. Basically SteamOS. And Legion Space boots up on boot. If that makes sense. Unless you turn it off by going to settings, going to general, and turn off boot automatically into Legion Space. I did because all of my games are basically on the screen of what I want to play. It could be finicky at times, and it could slow down your frame rate if you have it running in the background, Legion Space. But they're continuously updating it, so I'm sure it's going to get better and better and better and better. All right, that is the Lenovo Legion Go. The pros, the cons, the ins, the outs. But take it with a grain of salt. This is my opinions. You guys can let me know yours in the comments. I know we barely scratched the surface. At the end of the day, I only had it for about 2 weeks. So I haven't even tried everything. As it unfolds and as it progresses, I will update you as I keep updating it. The fit, the feel, the finish is all great. The matte finish with the 2-tone gloss black, great. I'm still probably gonna wrap it. And it's still, since it's fairly new, it's still getting updates frequently. But I just barely scratched the surface. We didn't really get to talk about the FPS mode, which makes your controllers better. We didn't get to talk about the settings menu over here. I just didn't want to bore you guys too much in this video. So I know what you guys are going to ask. If I already have the One X Player 2, should I go out and get the Lenovo Legion Go? I don't think you should if you already have the One X Player 2. The One X Player 2 mod has been performing good. Now, I don't think it's a big enough jump so far. This is still getting updates around at those edges. I don't think it's a big enough jump so far to spend another $800 if you already got the One X Player 2. Yep, the controllers on this better. You got a slightly bigger screen, 144 hertz panel. But I don't think that justifies getting it over. I don't think that justifies getting it if you already have the One X Player 2. That being said, if you don't have either and you're looking to get one, then yeah, I'll pick the Lenovo Legion Go for a few things. The controller, like I said, they feel better, they're more premium. The screen is slightly bigger, you know, size matters. The 144 hertz screen. The Legion Space is better than, I don't even remember what this one was called, but I didn't use them, and I'm not going to use it on the Legion. I'm not going to use the Legion Space, but Legion Space is slightly better. And then the most important thing, the price. This is like half the price of this, and you're basically kind of getting the same graphics. But I say that before I put them side by side. I haven't even done that. The battery on this one, I believe it's better. It could be the same battery. I don't know. Maybe the Z1 has to push harder. I don't know. Because I'm pretty sure the way you use your One X Player 2 is the same way you're going to use your Legion Go. But that's just my thoughts. Maybe you're going to play around in mouse mode a lot more. But you need space for that. You know what? We just need to put them side by side. Like, if you have this, I don't think you need to buy the Lenovo Legion Go. But if you don't have either of it, you might as well get the Lenovo Legion Go. Get all those extra features we talked about. And secondly, the price. It's like half the price of the One X Player 2. Put a little change back in your pocket. This is fairly new. It's getting more updates. They're buffing out the edges. So you might as well get the new boy on campus with the 144 hertz screen. But in a later video, we'll put these bad boys side by side and give you guys a better, accurate opinion. But if you got the One X Player 2, you don't have to upgrade to this. But I believe in the future, since this is made by a big name company, Lenovo, it's going to have a lot more accessories than this had, and it's been out for a few months already. Hopefully I gave you guys enough information for you to make a choice. If not, ask me in the comments. But there's still a lot I haven't done with the Lenovo Legion Go because it's only been 2 weeks. And I'm out. Roll the outro.